Canelo comes out and does what Canelo should do, Canelo wins the fight. If Canelo comes out and does what he shouldn't do, Crawford wins the fight.
But with Crawford, what are Crawford's keys to victory when you are fighting someone like Canelo, who, albeit maybe not in height, but in stature, is a much bigger man than him?
Control the center of the ring.
What do you think about Terence Crawford calling out Canelo?
You know, I don't like that fight.
I say, Terence win. Yes.
What? Terence win over Canelo?
Yes, Terence win.
The boxing community is aflutter with forecasts since Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez have agreed to a massive. Numerous boxing legends and analysts have offered their thoughts on how this bout would go, and there are differing views. Some people think Crawford has a genuine chance of winning because of his abilities. Others feel that Canelo's strength and size will be too much for a legend to handle. Mike Tyson thinks it would be foolish to offer a fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford at 168 pounds since he feels Crawford suffered against Israel Madoff because of his stature and awkwardness.
What do you think about Terence Crawford calling out Canelo?
You know, I don't like that fight.
Why not?
I don't like that fight. It's just too much weight, you know, and he had a close fight with the last guy he fought, Terence, because this guy was big and he was awkward. He was really awkward. He shouldn't have fought that guy. Right. Should have fought a guy that would just come straight at him. The guy was too awkward.
He's herky-jerky.
David Novowitz has an intriguing perspective on this bout. He thinks Terence Crawford has a genuine chance of winning. In fact, he wouldn't be shocked if Crawford pulled off an upset, since he has the work ethic and skill set to defeat Canelo.
Looks like it's going to come to fruition in September. What are your thoughts on that bout?
I have nothing to say. It's a good fight, and it's a good fight. I wish both of them the best.
All right, next question. Do you use that for motivation at all? Like Canelo's, like, you know?
I definitely do use that as motivation because if I was such an easy fighter and target, he would have came and beat me already. Just for him not fighting me lets me know how dangerous I am.
How would you approach a fight?
Is there scissors? Is there scissors? Ask for scissors. Go ahead.
How would you approach a fight with Terence Crawford if it was you against Crawford?
To be honest with you, if I fought Terence Crawford, I would definitely use my size, my reach, my weight to my advantage. Crawford is a very smart fighter, but I guess thankfully I'm not fighting him.
Benitez acknowledges, though, that he doesn't really want this fight to take place. He notes that Canelo is the money fight and that everyone wants to take a crack at him, but he personally disagrees with Crawford gaining that much weight.
Crawford throwing his hat in to want to fight Canelo at 168.
I mean, everybody wants to fight Canelo. It's the money fight, you know what I mean? I think even Inoue would come up to fight Canelo. Canelo wanted to fight him. I mean, I don't want to see Crawford to fight Canelo, to be honest with you, but it would be. I'm not saying it wouldn't be a great fight. It would be a great fight, but I feel like if I deserve my opportunity, and and after this fight, what else are you gonna say? You know what I mean? This is a tough fight. You know, the top WBC, the top people ranked at the WBC are fighting each other. So I mean, it should be an easy call. If I can't get those fights, then I'll go up to fight Bivol, or I'll go try to, I set my conquest on 175. Like I said, I don't want no handouts either. I want to, earn my spots everywhere I go, even at 175. But, I see that weight class, I want to become champion at 175, and that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Alexander Usyk, a master technician, views this fight as a contest between skill and size. He admits that Canelo is the larger fighter by nature, which will influence the fight. But Usyk is placing his trust in oversized abilities, believing that Crawford, who is sharper and more technically skilled, will have the advantage because Usyk's skills win fights and Crawford is the superior boxer in his opinion.
A potential fight between Canelo and Terence Crawford.
Yeah.
How do you see that fight? Who
I
do you
like Terence. It's
wow.
My friend, but it's crazy man. Listen, I say Terence win. Yes.
What? Terence win over Canelo.
Yes, Terence win. But listen, Terence, it's different man. Terence work in two sides. Two sides.
Right.
And
And
right.
switch hitter.
Yes.
He's a switch hitter.
Yes. Right and left. But it's very smart man. It's very, very, very smart. But feel distance and plays like
Adjustments,
spacing,
exactly.
boxing.
You don't think the weight difference will be a factor too much?
Mario, you're asking him?
That's why I'm asking, exactly.
Canelo big, yeah, Canelo too. It's a good boxer, but I say Terence.
Wow.
Another legend, Roy Jones Jr., has made a prediction regarding this fight and sees two possible outcomes. Canelo will win if he enters the fight in peak form and fights as he should. But if Canelo is not at his best, Terence Crawford will gain the upper hand and give Jones Jr. the victory. The fight will depend solely on which Canelo appears that evening.
Yeah, because a lot of people are saying, like, hey, forget about Canelo. That was a tough fight with Madrimov. Go ahead and give Boots a shot. Give Boots the chance. But Eddie's saying, hey, I think Crawford's saying, hey, give me the Canelo fight or I'm not fighting. I'm done.
Why? What he got to prove to Boots? Boots trying to take over and start beating the guys around him, prove that he's the best of that group. Bud is in a group above him. Bud don't need to come back down to 47 to meet him. That's crazy. Why would he? Bud looking to try to make history and get out. Get his big bank and get out. His big bank is who? Canelo. He willing to take that gamble, see if he can beat him. If he beats him, he may go fight Benavidez next. If he don't beat him, he say, okay, I took it as high as I could go. I'm done.
That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy if he gets the win. Like, oh my God.
Sean Porter, who has sparred with Terence Crawford, is apprehensive about this fight. He admits that Crawford is a strong and resilient fighter, but he questions whether he can handle Canelo's strength. Porter is aware of Crawford's physical prowess, but he thinks that even though Crawford is a very good defensive fighter, it could be difficult to withstand punches from someone like Canelo when they face off against someone who has defeated bigger opponents.
The others say, like, no, that's 2 more weight classes. Like, once he gets touched by Canelo, it's going to be different.
I am concerned about him absorbing a Canelo punch, especially through the course of 12 rounds. We do know this about Canelo. He's going to slow down, so I think if anything, Canelo would try to start fast and bang on him and break him down before he gets later, and he still got that kind of steam. But, there's so many components that make a champion. There's so many components that make a great, a legend. It's just so much to go into. It's a conversation that lasts an hour easily when we talk about all of the components that Terence Crawford has, all of the components that Canelo have, and how we find how they even out and who trumps one another, you know what I mean? We tried to do that with Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, and we see how that panned out, you know what I mean? So
Amir Khan, whoever has previously fought Canelo, is adamantly warning Terry Crawford to avoid this fight. Khan understands what it's like to be struck by Canelo and doesn't think Crawford should take that chance because he thinks that moving up to 168 pounds is simply too big of a leap for Crawford and that things could go wrong for him.
I don't think that should happen. Look, I like Crawford and I think Canelo is a beast that way, honestly. I would advise Crawford not to do that.
Canelo versus Jamel Charlo playing out.
I think Canelo just outboxes, well, no. Doesn't outbox him, but I think just outpowers him and beats him to the punch. And you do give Canelo does have some sort of like decent speed as well. So I think Canelo just wins that fight easy.
Would it be a knockout?
Could be, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say.
Although he concedes that the weight difference is a factor, former champion Caleb Plant believes that Terence Crawford's strength and distinctive boxing style make him dangerous in any fight. He also notes that Crawford has demonstrated his adaptability. And Plant believes that Crawford's boxing IQ and strategy could play a significant role in this fight, making it more competitive than some expect.
Terence is not a regular guy. You know what I'm saying? He's special. And, Canelo, he's a top-notch fighter, world-class fighter. Still on the pound-for-pound list, I'm sure towards somewhere near the top. And it's exciting. Terence is freakishly strong. He can punch. He's got good crack. He can fight from both ways. Orthodox, southpaw. He can fight at mid-range, close range, outside, and he can fight going both ways. So it's exciting. It's exciting. It's a big question mark on the end of it, though. So that's why I'm sure all of us are excited for that bell to ring and be able to find out firsthand.
Teofimo Lopez isn't giving Crawford much of a chance in this fight.
According to Lopez, Canelo is simply too big, too strong, and too experienced at higher weights. He believes that at some point in the fight, Canelo will land a big shot that will end the fight by knockout.
What round does Crawford get knocked out? I'm gonna put 8. Let's put it on the universe. So I'm gonna put it on 8. 8. And if it goes the other way, I 8. You know, I 8. So yeah, Ryan, Joe, and Eddie Reynoso also. That'd be cool, man. We all get work. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have our own underground boxing, me and Ryan, before we fight.
In agreement with Teofimo Lopez, Ryan Garcia feels that Crawford will be unable to handle Canelo's size and strength. Garcia appreciates Crawford's abilities, but he doesn't believe he has the physique required to take on a 168-pound warrior like Canelo.
That's going to be a great fight, too. I can't believe they made that happen. Turkey's been making a lot of great fights happen. You can't really hate on it. But I'm excited for that. I know Canelo, he's so big, so strong, and I think he'll be just too big. I mean, weight classes matter for a reason, right?
He said Teofimo and Boots are going to be on your October undercard.
Oh, yeah,
and
I
the
heard
winners
that.
would fight each other. Is
I
that what you were told?
I didn't know that, but I'm
What do you
down.
think of that?
I don't care. Yeah, let's do it. I wanted to fight Teofimo, too.
I got to do this. I agree with you that there's just like there's a lot of sanctioning bodies, there's a lot of promoters, there's going to be more testing organizations, not just one. Tell me about that. Why are you so adamant about no body?
I think that when a coach is pushing a certain organization, it just strikes me off weird. And for it to be like a mandatory thing, like, why can't I use another organization, you know? But again, I don't want to talk about them because, you know, it might sue me.
In his view, seasoned trainer Joe Diaz is quite clear that he believes Terence Crawford has no chance of defeating Canelo. Diaz claims that although Crawford is an excellent fighter, he doesn't think anything in Crawford's arsenal could pose a threat to Canelo in this particular clash, because he thinks Canelo's strength and size gap will be too significant.
A lot of people that say that Crawford can beat Canelo, no problem. I mean, I respect that, but I just think they're stupid. I mean, excuse my language. Mm-hmm. The size difference of a bigger man changes everything with one punch. And I can see the same thing. I mean, you saw Canelo Alvarez fighting Amir Khan. Now, look at this. Terence Crawford moved from 47 to 54 to fight Madrimov. What did he do to Madrimov? Nothing. Okay, Madrimov was a 54-pounder. Now, to move up to 168, that's 2 more divisions. Canelo Alvarez will take any punch from Crawford, but I don't think Crawford will take any punches from Canelo. Remember, Canelo got hit by Triple G, the heaviest hitter in that division. And Canelo took those shots like a champ. I don't think Crawford has anything to beat Canelo.
Promoter Eddie Hearn has some concerns about this fight as well. He admits that Crawford is a skilled fighter, but he says the weight difference is just too great. He also contends that Canelo shouldn't get much credit for defeating Crawford at 168 pounds, because he's defeating a naturally smaller man who began at 140 pounds.
How is Crawford going to be able to bridge this weight gap?
Yeah, I don't think he can, in all honesty. I mean, he might not be able to bridge it on Saturday.
Yeah.
So
one weight class.
68, yeah, but you're coming up from 35. 35, 40, 47, 54. Sooner or later, it's one too many. And 68 is definitely too many. But Crawford's brilliant. Like, he's a genius. He's a generational great. So maybe he can find a way to do it. But I feel he'd be hugely outsized against Canelo Alvarez. Yeah. But you have to use your movement if you're Terence Crawford in that fight. The last thing you want to do is stand and trade. He'd be moving a lot in that fight, trust me. I'm not saying he'd be running, but he would be moving a lot. Of course, that's the way to beat him.
Yeah.
You know.